G'day there mates, my name is Mr. Magilla-cutti and welcome back once again to my channel. Today we'll be continuing the story of Horizon 2, Forbidden West. Now where we left off in the last episode, we made it to chain something, I can't remember. I've never been good with names, you know that. Sorry about that, that's just my dad yelling. Because my brother loves to make things too loud. Anyway, today we'll be continuing with the story, going over some side quests before we actually continue with the main one. So, enough of my rambling, let's dive into it, shall we? To enter the Forbidden West and track down Silas, Aloy must first attend an embassy on the border of the Carja Sundom. When we finish. Chain Scrape, that's the name. Okay, now before we actually do any of the side quests here, I want to have a look around here first, because there's something here, and there's something over here. We'll check out the unknown machine strike first.
You say you can't.
Whatever it is, machine strike anyway.
But hear me out. Ah, finally.
Once again, I forgot to start my timer. But, it's okay, it's only been about a minute, so no harm, no foul.
Aloy, change your mind about that brew?
Hey, Ray. Fancy a game of straight?
Come for that beer after all, eh? Here, sit down. Get a pint in her hand. Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I do what's expected?
Ha! There's that spark. Fire and spit.
Fire and spit.
That's a blast from the bellows. Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles for a while.
Like what?
Take your pick. We got bodies to bury from the bristlebacks, the work stoppage, Olvin grating the gears about his concession decree. Hey! Weapons off the table! Ah, don't listen to me. Nothing a cold brew and knocking some heads together can't fix eventually.
So the bristlebacks and the Daunt.
Sheesh.
Where did they come from?
That's the thing. No one rightly knows. They just showed up one day, rampaging around the valley like they exploded out of a forge. Lost some good people. But I heard talk of some vanguards trying to take them down.
Did they come through here?
Stopped by briefly for supplies. Olvind was none too pleased. Won't be able to crank it to his advantage once the bristlebacks are gone.
But how could bristlebacks and the Daunt help Olvind?
2 words. Concession Decree. Since no one knows where the bristlebacks came from, Olvind has taken to blaming the Carja for them. He's hoping to dig up enough old resentments to get a strike going until the concession's signed. This is just his latest attempt. He's been trying to rile up the workers since the day he rolled into town.
And people actually believe him?
Lots of folks suffered at the hands of the Mad King during the Red Raids. Give them half a reason, they'll blame the Carja for anything.
Damn Carja slavers.
I see what you mean.
I thought you'd be back in Freeheap.
Well, after the big battle at Meridian, I went back. But realized it was running smooth. Didn't need me. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Figured they could use another hammer. Been scraping by ever since.
You could always leave.
And go back east? Nah. I ain't one to leave a lit forge. Besides, someone's gotta be a squeaky wheel for the workers around here.
So about Olvind.
Around here, everything's about Olvind.
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early, like a squirrel smelling a fat nut. He knew rebuilding Barren Light would need stone and timber. So he jangled purses all over Mainspring, getting investors to front claims on anything in the Daunt that might be worth a damn. Thing is, All the bankers back home know that this is Karja land, and the Sun King can revoke those claims at any time. That's why he's desperate for the magistrate to sign off on a concession decree.
This concession decree, what is it exactly? And how would it help Ulvund?
It's pig diddle, that's what.
A writ that would put all Osram claims in the Daunt under Osram law, even though they're on Karja land. It would mean that any existing ore, stone, and timber claims couldn't be revoked by the Karja. No more risk, no more hesitation for investors back in the claim to pour in the shards and expand their business. And since Ulvund has a stake in all those claims, it would make him richer than a scrapper in a junk heap. Not to mention Chainscrape would become an Osram municipality, so he could buy enough votes to call himself an Elderman. He's a sly old badger, I'll give him that. Figures if he keeps up the pressure, eventually the magistrate will sign.
Well, I have to be going. Thanks for the drink, Petra. I'm glad I stopped by.
Anytime, Flamehair.
Okay, now to this machine strike.
Come to revel in some strike, sister? Let me set the board.
I was just passing by.
First timer, huh? Don't worry about it. I'll go easy on you. You got any pieces?
No.
Well, aren't you in luck then? I got an extra set, a Tanakh original straight out of the Forbidden West. Sit. I'll run you through it in a hot spark. I'll give you something special if you win it on my boards, too.
Okay. I'm always tempted by prizes. Okay, so begin tutorial.
All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakh like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, and each machine is worth a different number of victory points. And to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points by destroying the opponent's machines. It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them. You see that number on the top right corner?
Yep.
That there is how many victory points you'll get for destroying that machine. Notes also tell you how far a piece can move, how powerful their attacks are, the distance they can strike from, and of course, their health. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's just play. I'll explain the rest as we go.
Okay.
I
then.
own the board, so I get to choose who goes first. Since this is your first time, I'll let you go.
Thanks.
Usually you get to choose which pieces to set on the board, but this will do for now. Pick up that machine piece to your right, and move it forward. And remember, each machine can only move a certain distance. Take a look at your notes if you need a reminder.
Okay. Better safe than sorry.
Gotta move that machine forward. Easy enough, huh? Now, you get to move 2 machines each round, so go ahead and pick a second machine.
I was gonna do a latch. Just moving one.
There's not much else to do for now, so just end your turn.
Okay.
We're forging onwards. Let me move my pieces here. And we're back to you. This time, why don't you try attacking one of my pieces? Try with that machine on your right first.
Okay.
Now move the piece close enough to attack one of my machines. You gotta move that piece close enough to attack my machine, okay? When performing an attack, you'll be testing your machine's combat power against the opponent's. A machine's combat power is a combination of the terrain your machine is standing on and its own attack power. This board only has grassland terrain, which has no effect on a machine's combat power. And your current machine has 2 points of attack power. So in total, your machine's combat power equals 2 points. Since my machine isn't the one attacking, it has 0 points of attack power. And just like your machine, it's not affected by grassland terrain. So right now, the difference in combat power between the two machines is 2 points. This means your machine can do 2 points of damage to my machine. Did you get all that?
Kind of.
Knew you were a smart one. Finish up by attacking my machine. Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that second machine of yours. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint. That lets it move 1 space further. Try it out.
Sprint.
If you sprint, you'll be able to reach my machine.
Oh, I'm going here.
Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now, some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine's health by 2 points. So use at your own discretion. Let's try doing that now so you can see what I mean. That's about it for your turn then. Now, I'll let you in on a neat trick. That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on the pieces. Blue shows where their armor is thickest. Hit them there, and you'll do some damage, but not a lot. Now, red shows the machine's weak points. Hit those, and you'll deal a mighty blow. Here, let me show you. Rotate that piece so your machine faces mine.
Okay. So it's L to an R to rotate.
Now let that machine have it. Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but hasn't moved yet. Go ahead and move downwards towards my remaining piece. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. But if you overcharge your machine, you can attack a second time. And by the look of your machine's health, you'd be sacrificing your piece to defeat mine. But sometimes, that can be a good thing. Overcharge your machine to attack mine a second time, and I'll show you what I mean. Ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points first. That's why sometimes losing a piece can be the best way to end a game in your favor.
So
Now, you'll notice you didn't get quite up to 7 victory points this time, but you did destroy all my pieces. That means you're the winner! That wasn't so hard, was it? Just remember to always check for the best terrain to attack from. You'd be surprised the advantage you can gain over an opponent like that. I know it saved my behind in a game or 2.
I'll try and remember that.
yeah.
Oh, before I forget, these are all my spare pieces. I want the Savior of Meridian to have them. It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on any strike games you find out there. You might even fancy looking out for them strike carvers. They've got all kinds of unique pieces that can turn a game in your favor, though they'll need the right materials to craft you one. Or you might find them in the wilds if you're lucky. I know I've lost my fair share of pieces after night of machine hunting or brew hopping. No need to thank me. Always a pleasure to help out new strike players. Now, if you feel like playing a real game, I've got plenty of other boards. I could even teach you a few more tricks if you're up for it.
I'll keep that in mind.
Thanks. I'll think about it.
Okay, you want us closer to mastering the game of Machine Strike. Alright, so that last bit she told me about, it's basically good for like when you're pretty much neck and neck at like for example, if we're both at 6 victory points, if I overcharge my machine when it's pretty much about to be defeated itself, and I defeat the other opponent's machine, it means I'll get the victory point first, which means I would win, and not be a tie break, be a tie. So that's good to know. Alright, so we got machine terrains and knockback. So let's give this a go.
Ah, I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet.
Yeah.
How about this time I tell you how to use a board's terrain to your advantage? This one's got all the different terrains you can encounter in a game of Strike. Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Terrain mainly affects your machine's combat power. As you know, when fighting an opponent's machine, you compare its combat power to yours. The higher your machine's combat power, the more damage you can do. So finding the right terrain is an essential strategy for overpowering your opponent. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machines.
Okay.
Now let's take a look at your machine's combat power. Combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power and the value of the terrain it's standing on. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's also standing on forest terrain with a value of 1 point. Add those together, and your machine has 3 points of combat power. My machine is standing on grassland terrain with a value of 0 points. It's also not attacking, which means their attack points aren't in play. So my combat power is 0. This means your machine can do 3 points of damage. Go ahead and test it out.
If I quit, this whole video is going to be about Machine Strike. Well, I'm not complaining. You complaining? No.
There you go. Now, choosing the right terrain doesn't just improve your offense. It can also help defend your machines from attack. Grab your other piece and place it in front of my second machine. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's standing on grassland terrain. This terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat power adds up to 2 points. My machine can't use their attack power since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it, which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead. Go ahead, try it out and see what happens. See? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage. And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage as well.
Okay.
That's why breaking a machine's defenses is a great way to deal damage to several pieces at once. Useful, right? Okay, now go ahead and end your turn. There's still one more thing I want to show you.
This is going to be a bit complicated, but I love a challenge.
All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power. However, there are 2 other terrains that work a little differently. This is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those. But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so be wary. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat power point from most machines. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest of the turn. Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left.
Alright.
See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move again. Or you can overcharge your machine to get out of there. You can still attack any nearby enemies so you're not completely helpless. Well, I think that's enough yammering from me for now. Promise it'll all come in handy next time you play.
Okay, so we learned about that. Okay, so let's have a look at machine times in skills.
Here for more tips?
Yep.
Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend up to 10 assembling your army. Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same time. With that in mind, most players would choose machines based on how far they can move or how much attack power they have. But a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine on your left. All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponents. In other words, its machine type. If you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type. You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first enemy within range, and no one else. We've seen this plenty of times, so just move that piece forward so I can show you some more stuff.
Alright.
Great, now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range. Let's move that machine forward and end your turn so we can take a look at the rest of the pieces.
And turn.
Let's go with this piece first. This is a ram type machine. Attack an enemy with it and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot on the board. This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at. Now this is a beauty of a piece, a dash type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it off to the races. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at all. Here, I'll show you.
Jesus.
Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely want in your set.
Okay.
If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, and we haven't even looked at all the machine types yet. But I'm pretty sure you've got more important things to do, so I made you a list. It's got all the tips and tricks we talked about, too. I think that about does it for now, so if you want to play a real game, just let me know.
You know what? Let's get the give it a shot. So
This is gonna be fun.
all right.
Time to get serious. That's it for me.
That was a dumb mistake on my part.
My turn. Your turn.
Sorry about that, had a phone call. Okay.
I'm up. Looks like you're down to one piece. Guess luck's not on your side today, Red.
Yeah. Let's try
Let's
that again.
do this.
This time, I'm gonna need to be smart about this.
Time to make my move. You're up, Red.
So that way he doesn't actually get... I can't be too defensive on it, so we'll just go here.
Okay, let's see.
At least cover his boys
Board's
down.
all yours.
Ah, that's just a Brent.
I'm up. Gotta say, your odds aren't good, Red.
Yeah.
That was brutal. My turn. Oh, I won! Probably shouldn't sound so surprised, huh? Here we go.
I've never been really good at game strategies. I mean, you should have seen me playing Gwent on the Witcher. God, I'm awful. But, well, I'm going to dedicate this episode today to Machine Strike, so why the heck
Your
not?
move, Red. Time to make my move. That's it for me.
Oh, no, I wanted... There we go, so you can at least rotate it even after you move the piece, so thank goodness for that.
Time to get serious. Not looking good for you, Red. That's the game. You up for a rematch?
Should have just overcharged there. Sorry, it's just I never liked the
Let's
idea
play.
that my opponents take damage. I need to get into that mindset. I had a good strategy going, I almost had it, but I just fucking
You're
up.
up, Red. Okay, let's see. Board's all yours. Just one piece left. That sure dampens the forge. the board it goes. Now that was a game, even if I lost.
Okay, and this, again, I need to start getting into the idea of using overcharge. Oh, we can actually get shards for this. Alright, so now I'm going to be having the ability to use phrases.
Good luck.
I'm going to need it. Okay, it's a ram type. When attack from a hill terrain, it gains 1 combat power.
Your move, Red.
Ah, I can only move it to a turn, that's right.
Your turn.
Ah, it's a lance one.
Knocked right off the board.
Just get my own piece by mistake.
I'm up. One less piece on the board. Well, that's done now.
Better safe than sorry. Oh yeah,
Time to get serious.
I need to get back in the mindset that I can only move 2 pieces at a time.
Your turn. You got me down to 1 piece. I am impressed. Just 1 piece left. You got me. Fair and square.
Okay, looks like things are gonna get tougher.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this. Bar right here. Put 1 here. Scrounger.
Time to make my move.
Jesus, they can move on.
You're up, Red. Hey, I like that piece where it was.
Sorry, friend. But that's how the game goes. We'll take it very risky move here.
Knocked right off the board.
Yep.
Time to get serious.
What's your overcharge?
Your move, Red.
Only weak from the back. Okay then.
Well, that's done now. Time to make my move. That's it for me. Oh, seriously?
Overcharge.
Ah, off the board it goes.
Gotta love
One
that
less piece on
overcharge.
the board. That was a surprise. That was brutal.
Okay, get rid of these last two and
Mother. That was brutal.
but again, you gotta love that overcharge. Okay.
Ah, looks like I lost.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to get this down. I'm still feeling like a complete noob, but complete all beginner players. Okay, so there's actually 3 other beginner players out here. But if I defeat her one more time, I can actually get the bristleback piece. Fanghorn. I'll go with Lancehorn because I had a bit of luck with them. Let's go with this. Actually. Yep. Alrighty, first official game. Let's start it.
This is gonna be fun.
I'll say. Bit of scrapper. I put my Lancehorns near the hills here because they get a lot more attack power then.
Board's all yours.
Okay, so I've got 30 pieces, so...
My turn. That's it for me.
Ah, it's a gunner, so it attacks from range. I'm an idiot. What? Ugh, I don't know. I'm gonna mess this one up, so...
Okay, let's see. the board it goes. You're up, Red. Hey! Oh, that was the perfect spot. Knocked right off the board. Your move, Red. Well, that's done now. Board's all yours.
Thank you. Ah, I can't overcharge it. Sugar.
One less piece on the board. Time to get serious. Your
Good.
turn. One less piece on the board. I was hoping you wouldn't do that. Well, spark my forge. You have beaten me on every one of my boards. Now that deserves a prize, I say.
And we got a Bristleback strike piece. That was a bit challenging, and again, I've never been good at strategy games, but this is actually
Come back
fun.
anytime, Red.
I quite enjoyed this. Alright, let's go find this unknown over here. A herbalist. What's the hell is there? Ooh, thank you. I can't talk to him yet. Probably because work hasn't started around here. Alrighty, Dad. We'll check over here real quick. Actually, let's just do this right and mark it like this. Truth be told, I have never been into a tavern before.
Expect to see you up and about.
I may have been into a pub a couple of times, but a tavern itself, well, never seen anyone rowdy. Ugh.
It seems like bitter leaf likes to grow on rocky terrain.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I think I have enough bitter leaf.
That distance, and we need to get wild meat from here. Let's see what's up here. First, why the heck not? I love how they added more stuff we can do in the game now, like the mini games, yeah. Especially the machine strike. That is actually really fun. Simple yet fun.
Hope this tastes as good as it looks.
Almost the ball. There it is. No sums up here. Let's see what's up here with, shall we? Thought I had this. Quite a climb.
This place has seen better days.
Signal tower. What path? I guess it's just me going around in circles here, but... or not. Yeah, you can't break into that like that. So up's the only way to go. Oh shit.
Some kind of device. The metal reflects the sun. Send a signal?
Signal. Lens of morning.
Looks like some kind of lens. Guess I'll keep it for later.
Hmm. Also showed a blocked path here, but missing tool needed. Okay, so I can't go into there. So let's just wrap it back down, shall we?
I don't think I can get past them. Guess I should leave it for now. Must be somewhere I can get rid of those vines. But how?
Metal flowers at that. Now, if you remember from the last game, they actually had the metal flowers that you can trade in for goodies. And it seems this time to get them, we need a special tool to get rid of the vines. Question is, what is that tool? So I'm just trying to keep an eye out for any balls.
Do I have any fire ammo on me?
No, I don't think I do. Bloody hell, those claws are fast. Alright, bugger off then. That's close. And you guys are probably laughing at me in the comments saying you couldn't even catch up to a squirrel. Shut up. Fire Fang Horn. Let's go see what one of these things I'll do. Place the fire axe, full episode. Fire Fang Horn.
Lots of fanghorn without its hands.
Whoa. What was that? Those weak against ice. Like for me, I upgraded my ice bombs, yeah.
Oh, that helps.
Okay. Ooh, got a coil for explosive damage. Braided wire. Nice. Alright, let's have a quick look at our new machine friend here. Oh, so shooting off the antlers actually gives me something gun you can use, so. Oh yeah, I remember needing this to upgrade something. Okay, so let's find that other Fire Fang Horn, grab that, and then we'll call it an episode. Hey! Yeah. Well, that was easy. But I'm having a feeling I'm gonna need more, so. Where did it go? Feelings the run, doesn't it? Yeah, boy. It's kind of deer chasing all over again. So it looks like I'm going to be chasing deer.
Hit the mark.
A thing called primal nerve. Okay, let's see what else I got from this thing. Canister of Blight, he's always nice to have. And some more Blight. Okay, now that I've got this, antlers, I should be able to upgrade that, piece of equipment that I was needing to do. But, that's gonna have to wait till the next episode, so. I know we didn't get much done there, hey guys, but I was learning a new game, so shut up. And I'm actually looking forward to playing more of it. I know I'm terrible at strategy board games, but I just love it all together. It's just fun to play. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button. Also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to show support for the channel. I very much appreciate that. Now, with that, I need to get going. So thank you all again, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, and drive safely out there, people. Bye-bye. Take care, and have a good time. Okay.